Welcome to Rev Free Moto. I'm Jonathan, and thank you so much for joining me today. Right now, I'm trying to figure out the angle on my headlight here. I feel like it just kind of, I need to align it in front of a garage or something. Today is my second day riding my 2024 Janus Halcyon 450. Yes, that is a new motorcycle, even though it looks like something out of the late 20s or early 1930s or something like that. I just got this. If you haven't seen the delivery of this motorcycle to my door, you got to check out that video. It's amazing. It was delivered in the middle of a snowstorm. Right now, I am parked at the Fashion Square Mall in Charlottesville, Virginia, and it is actually completely closed other than this Belk right now. Everything else in the mall is closed. You can't even go inside anymore. There are rumors that they're going to remodel some of it and perhaps open it again. They're building a Home Depot. They bulldozed the Sears. They bulldozed they remodeled our J.C. Penney and made that into a space that is being leased by the county here for public safety operations, fire and police. So this whole mall is being repurposed, but hopefully the interior of it will one day see some pedestrian traffic and the light of day again. Let's talk about this motorcycle real quick. I wanted to do a ride with it. I did some riding with it yesterday, and kind of broke it in a tiny bit. It's so much different than riding, pretty much anything I've ever ridden before. Probably the only thing that's even close is my very first motorcycle, which was a 1982 Yamaha Maxim 400. This is a fuel-injected single-cylinder 445cc fuel-injected um, SWM engine, single-cylinder, and it puts out around 30 horsepower, 21, 22, 23 foot-pounds of torque, which doesn't seem like a whole lot, but this motorcycle is only 365 pounds, which is half the weight of my Harley Davidson Lowrider ST. It's extremely light, and it's hand-built. This motorcycle is hand-built. I mean, look at it. It's absolutely a beautiful work of art. It's hand-built in Goshen, Indiana. The fenders are hand-hammered, hand-forged by craftsmen. The tank is hand-forged. The exhaust is hand-hammered and forged and welded. The frame is chromiated tubular steel, American steel, hand-bent, welded. This thing is put together on a build stand in a shop in Goshen, Indiana, and a lot of the parts that they don't do in-house themselves is within 20 miles of their shop. It's being made. Things like this leather, this beautiful leather on this Sargent seat, is done by Amish craftsmen, and it has Biltwell grips, Biltwell foot pegs, Brembo brakes. It's just everything on this motorcycle is first class all the way. The tank is the pinstripes are hand done. The logo is hand painted. Everything is powder coated. The gas cap is aluminum, and you can get custom gas caps for it. You can upgrade the headlight to LED. There's all sorts of things you can do with it. Probably one of the first things that I'll be doing is adding another mirror. It only comes with one mirror. This number plate on the front is actually the motorcycle's serial number. If you are a history enthusiast, you know that in the early days of motorcycling, this was where the registration plate or the license plate for the motorcycle was on the front fender, just like that. And so you can have, when you custom build these things, you can make them to order on the Janus Motorcycles website. But you can have anything you want put up there. If I wanted to put the word, my name up there, or I'm awesome, or Rev Free Moto, something like that, you can have that put there. Uh, this is Janus Motorcycles JM Halcyon 450 number 341. So that's just a serial number. And the front suspension, they call it leading link suspension. It's weird, when you hit the brakes, there is absolutely no front end dive, which, I don't know, if you ride a Harley or a heavier bike, you feel a lot of that front end dive. So let's go ahead and take this bike for a ride. Oh, one more thing is the Icon adjustable suspension. And if you, I believe it's the Vincent motorcycles that this suspended rear frame is designed after. Here's where you put your oil in. Yeah, so he's just making sure I was okay. That was nice of him. Here's where you put your oil in, and right underneath the shocks there. But yeah, this is a Icon shocks, dual shock rear suspension, very similar to the way a Vincent motorcycle rear end of the frame is suspended. So that's kind of a little bit of a walk around, a little bit of the basics on how these Janus motorcycles are built. This company puts out about 350 motorcycles a year, hand built, and they're not terribly expensive. It's surprising. I really thought that they would, they could ask more. I really think they could. But not everybody wants this kind of a motorcycle. Not everybody wants a bike that is, lighter weight like this. And it is different, but it is so much fun to ride. So let's go ahead and get on it and start it up and take it for a ride. And hopefully my audio equipment, I've got my engine audio in this little satchel bag that I'm going to wear on my back. Hopefully that'll keep it out of the wind. A key is not something I'm used to these days. Alright, so we've got a whopping 82 miles on the motorcycle currently. Alright. What's really different about this bike is that, I'm so used to a V-twin that has so much low-end power. And this thing is, you really rev it up on this bike. The power band really starts around 4,500 RPMs, which is a lot different. A lot of bikes out today. It's in the mid 60s here. Now yesterday when I was riding this thing around, I was really having a hard time finding neutral, the neutral light to pop on. But I seem to have broken the engine in and the transmission in enough that it is cooperating today. Everybody's getting their ride on today. Beautiful day. So thankful to be able to be out riding. One of the things about having a lightweight bike like this is if you make a mistake, then it's not a big deal. Like what I mean is, if you lose your balance a little bit. This bike is so light, it's easy to just kind of ride it or pick it back up. If you maybe hit the brakes a little bit late, it's got Brembo brakes front and rear, and it'll stop. Like, it stops very well. It's strange getting used to a single cylinder, because you really don't even want to shift on this bike until you're above 4,500 RPMs. And that's so different than like a Harley, where you're shifting, you can shift at 1,500, 2,000 RPMs. And one thing that I've been really delighted by is the exhaust note of this motorcycle. You know, it's a tiny little engine. I mean, compared to, I think my Harley is a 1900 cc. It's a 117 cubic inch, over 100 horsepower. This is 30 horsepower. So 445 cc's versus 1900 cc's. But listen to that. I love it. It's just so much fun to be able to use the whole power band of this bike. Here I am, riding around 5,000 RPM, and I don't have to shift. It's not time to shift yet. I still want a little bit of that power band. Of course, downshifting really slows this thing down too. So that's nice. You can save your brakes. But man, it's I think the biggest thing that takes some getting used to is, even though it's got balancers, in the motor, it's a little on the vibration-y side. That's even the word. But it's fun. It makes it fun because you can feel it in the bars a little bit. Not bad, but you can feel it in the bars. You can feel it in the seat. It's like it's alive, it's alive, and you're one with it. Oh man, it's so much fun to ride. We'll have to get into some Twisties in a minute. Oh, there was my chance. I just missed it. There's another road up here I'll take. The fuel is, I think, about a 2.1 gallon tank. It's not a really big fuel tank, but these bikes get anywhere from 60, depending on how you ride, 60 to 80 miles to the gallon. So if you're, let's say on the low end, you're getting 60 with a 2-gallon tank, that's still a range of at least 120 miles. One of the things that I've got that I need to install on this motorcycle is a fuel bottle with a mount for it and everything. It's basically like a aluminum water bottle that's red. I think if I had just taken an old water bottle and mounted it to the bike, I would have saved myself a lot of money. But that'll give me an extra little bit of fuel for emergency situations. seat height is 30 inches. And I feel like it, for me, I'm 5'10", I have a 30-inch inseam, but I have no problem flat-footing the motorcycle. It's a good seat height. The riding position is very comfortable. I was a little worried about it. There's not a lot of forward lighting on this motorcycle, so I really am trying to ride with a little extra caution. Not that anyone ever sees me anyway. Got my brake free on the back of my helmet, so that should help me out in the back. The Twisty road is coming up here on the right. One thing that's old school about this motorcycle is that it doesn't have turn signal cancelers. And I scraped the foot peg there. So you gotta cancel that. She likes it. So the power band is about 4,500 to 8,500. I don't think I've taken it up that high in the revs. Probably the highest I've taken it, because I'm still breaking it in, is about 6,500. I don't really want to rev it too much higher than that. The first 1,000 miles. Bugs are out today. I just picked up a nice big one on my visor. This bike being so light is, I think that's one of the hardest things to get used to, is how responsive it is. You can really, I mean, you just push the handlebars and I'm afraid it's going to go on the other lane. I'm picking up my foot a little bit. I don't want to drag it like I did last time. I leaned it over. It's got a good lean angle. I don't understand. I felt my foot drag on the pavement, so I'm just turning back onto this road. Right, so here we are, fourth gear, 4,500 RPM, just kind of on the peak of the power band. And this is really where this motorcycle shines, I would say, just based on the little riding I've done so far. Which isn't that abnormal. People freak out when they hear that. But my 2019 Indian Chief Vintage that I had for 5 years had spoked wheels, and it also had inner tubes in its tires. I never had any problems. Never had a flat. Knock on wood. You know, my Harley, I never get to shift gears. It's like you shift so early. So, you know, you can push it. You can push it a little harder if you want to, but this bike's not meant for performance. You know, it's meant for, as they call it in the Janus culture, rambling around, and kind of enjoying the ride. That's really what attracted me to the Janus motorcycle company is a couple of things. Their customer service, the way they treat and value their customers, I imagine it's what Harley Davidson was back in 1903, 1910. You know, the first 10, 15, 20, 25 years, 30 years even, Harley Davidson. Back when they used to care about their customers. That's Janus Motorcycles. These guys are a small company. They need their customers. They need their customers to represent the brand. So easy to roll. And they really, I mean, they have, I think right now they only have one sales rep. One. And they're building 350 motorcycles a year. So I don't know if he's commission based, but he's wonderful. So if he is, he deserves every penny of it. His name is Mitch. But you can go online. You can get a 250. You can get a 450. They have a couple different models. They have the Halcyon, which is this. But they also have a Griffin, which is like a scrambler, more of a, it's like a dirt bike style. That's a really cool bike too. But you can go on and build these to order. And I want to say the 250 Halcyon starts at only $69.95. So it's, you know, $7,000. Sometimes they'll have sales on their, just saying, on their in-stock bikes too. And that's what happened with this one. It was already being built. I don't know if someone backed out of the deal or if it was one they were building for their stock. But they had a little bit of a discount on it, and they also, right now, they're doing a really good finance deal. I think it's if you have good credit, 3.99% for 48 months, so the payment's like nothing. Anyway, I just think it's really fun to go on their website and play around with the build tool, because you can customize it any color you want. If you have a paint code, they'll do it, you know. Any color you want. I'm plugging it. Go. Any pinstripe combination you want. Get a windshield for it. You can get saddlebags for it. That's something that I have some bags for it. I'm going to try before I order ones from Janus. I'm trying to save a little bit of money. They're $500. I mean, they're Amish leather handcrafted saddlebags, so it's not like they're not worth it. Gotta save money where you can, right? What else? You can get highway bars for it. You can get a book rack or a cargo rack, which is something that I'm planning on getting. Cargo rack goes over the rear fender. Shield that they have for it is cool, but that's also expensive. So maybe looking at some alternatives for that. Right now I don't really feel like I need one. I love the clean air, but I may change my tune after getting 1,000 bugs off my jacket later in the season. So we'll see. But it's just, it's so much fun, and you feel so alive when you ride this bike, and you feel just at one with it. Now, they have a 2-year warranty on these bikes, on the 450s. The 250s, which are carbureted, by the way, if you really like old school, where can you get a carbureted motorcycle? Really like old school, you want to get a carbureted bike, the 250s have this is how bulletproof their engines are, a 4-year warranty. 4 years. 250s. It's crazy. And, okay, so one thing that people say is like, well, there's no Janus dealers. Like, where do you get it maintained? And you can do the work yourself. They have how-to videos on their YouTube channel on everything from how to change the oil to how to adjust the valves to whatever, you know, how to adjust the chain, tension, all that stuff. Say you don't want to change your own oil, or mess around with the mechanical part of the bike. I get it. I'm not always that great at that stuff myself. I try, but you know, there's no reason I'm not a mechanic. So, in that case, find a local shop that works on bikes. I mean, this motor is so simple. The mechanics of this motorcycle are so simple. It's about as simple as you can get. And so anyone can work on this bike. Anyone. So you just find a local shop that'll work on motorcycles, and there you go. That's your answer. I've already found a local shop that I was able to contact Facebook Messenger called Firefly Moto, Charlottesville. And I sent the owner a message and I said, hey, I've got a Janus Halcyon 450 on the way. I don't know if you've ever worked on one of those, but is that something you're willing to do? I need you. And pull over here. And he said, yep, I've heard of Janus. I've been following them for quite some time. I would love to work on a Janus. So Firefly Moto is going to be my go-to if I need a shop to work on my Janus. I'd say my only complaint about this motorcycle is that it stands up really, really straight on the kickstand. And so, as you can see, it's got very little lean to it. Which is a bad thing on a windy day, because it could catch a gust of wind and fall over. But if you know, turn the wheel a little bit, it helps. Well, I appreciate you joining me today for the ride, one of my first rides on this beautiful motorcycle. And I hope that you'll join me for more videos in the future. If you haven't subscribed to Rev Free Moto, please consider subscribing and giving this video a like. That really helps me out. I appreciate you all. Remember, it's who you're becoming. That's what matters most. And we'll see you in the next video. God bless.